You begin by giving each of your 5 spectators one card that will be their marker card. And you're going to start dealing out what looks like a poker hand. And what's different about this from a regular poker hand is that it doesn't have to have exactly 5 cards in it. In fact, you don't even have to deal in order. I can deal out of order in any direction. At any point, any of those spectators can say to stop. So let's say at this point, the person in third position says stop. So we'll take their card and just mark where they said to stop. Now I'll continue dealing on the other piles in any order I choose. A few cards here, a few cards here. The first person says stop, let's say. We'll mark that pile. And we'll deal on to the other 3 piles. So continue dealing, stop, put that one there. And we can stop whenever they want. Let's say the second person says stop, put that there. And we'll deal a few more. And this person says stop. Place that there with the rest of the cards here. And then we're just going to stack the piles up. And we're going to take a look at how they did. Now, if this was a poker hand, the best possible hand you can get is a royal flush. So that's, of course, what we're looking for. We'll take the first card with the first red card next to it right there. Take the second blue card with the red card next to it. We'll take the third blue card with the red card next to it. And the fourth blue card right here with the red card next to it. And the final blue card right there, the last one next to it. And now we'll see how we did. The blue cards, the marker cards, there was a 10 of spades there. And we got, the 10 of spades. The blue marker card, we got a jack of spades. And another jack of spades. The next blue card was a queen of spades, queen of spades, the king of spades, and of course we finished the royal flush with the ace of spades. That's pretty amazing. Usually what happens at this point is someone says, wow, that was incredible. What if I had stopped one card sooner or one card later? And that's when I show them that the rest of the deck was blank. You don't have to have 2 separate decks of cards for this trick to work. So if you don't have a blue and a red deck, there's another way to do this. You also don't have to buy a blank deck of cards. It's a kind of a cool ending, but you don't even need that ending for this trick to be amazing. So if you were just using a single deck of cards, you would just write on pieces of paper, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, and it would be the same as if you had a royal flush in blue cards. The setup for this trick is that you'll start with 10, jack, queen, king, ace of the blue cards. It'll be upside down when you start the trick, so the spectator won't know what cards are there. You'll just shift the cards by 1 for the red cards. This is the jack, so the jack goes here, queen goes here, the king goes here, the ace goes here, and there's no card here because the 10 actually goes on the bottom of the deck. Then deal the rest of the cards back on top of the deck in that order, so that the first 5 cards that you deal out will be a jack, a queen, a king, an ace, and an indifferent card that doesn't matter here, because when you stack them later, the 10 will match up with the 10. So now you're ready to start the trick. You're going to start dealing cards as you're explaining it. It's kind of like a poker game. You're going to start dealing 5 hands of poker, but they don't have to have exactly 5 cards in each hand. Now note, once you get past the first 5 cards, your setup is completely done. You can deal as many cards as you want in these other piles in any order. It doesn't matter because the rest of them are just going to be blank cards anyway, or indifferent cards if you're not using a blank deck. They really can stop you at any point that they want. Now I'm going to show you face up what happens here. So let's say the third pile had said stop. We'll face up the queen, and then we'll stop dealing on that pile. We'll deal on the other piles until somebody else says stop. Let's say now the 5th person says stop. So we'll put the 5th card here. I'm going to put it face up. Of course, in the real trick, you keep it face down. Now we'll keep dealing the other piles. The 2nd person says stop. Deal the other 2. The 4th person says stop. Place that face up. Deal a few more here until they say stop. Put that there. Now with the rest of the cards, you're going to drop them right on top of the 10. Now look at what's happening here. 10 is on the bottom, so as soon as you do that, you're putting the 10s together. And then if you stack the piles in this order, you're just going to match the other cards up because the jack is already on the bottom of this pile. So when you stack them, you just put the jacks together. And the queen is underneath this pile. And the king is under this one. And of course, the ace is underneath this one. So when you stack them all up, you've now set the order. Now look through the cards, and as soon as you come to a blue card, you'll take that one and the one to the right of it. Place it aside. Then look for the next card. Of course, these would be face down. Then the queen, then the king, and then the ace. Now place the rest of the deck aside and kind of forget about it as you do the reveal. You're going to show that you matched all of these cards perfectly. And take a beat at this point because their minds are going to be blown. How could you have possibly gotten 2 perfect royal flushes? Now, if somebody asks, well, what would have happened? Of course, you just show the cards, but sometimes they won't ask. Just offer the information. They'll say a lot of times when I do this trick, someone will ask me what would have happened if I dealt 1 more or 1 less card in one of the piles. And the answer is the entire trick would have been ruined because the rest of these cards are blank.